Welcome back to the Swank Golf Podcast. We got a really good show as usual. My guest today is a longtime golfer and the member of the Philadelphia Strokers. Please welcome Earl Myers to the show.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, dude, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to have a veteran golfer on the show. Seriously, because
Is that what I am? A veteran golfer?
Hey, look,
Did you just call me old?
No, I called you
All right.
experienced,
Okay.
brother. I
All
called
right.
you
All right.
experienced.
Okay.
Yeah, so me being I'm a fairly new golfer.
Right.
A lot of my circle fairly new. We got the bug, but when we get around golfers who's been around the game for a while and also look like us, it's great because we get to see a little bit into the future. We get to feel as though that we're in a place where we're welcomed, right? And then also, too, we just get those gems that you probably wouldn't get anywhere else. So
Right.
I want to just thank you for being on the show.
Of course. Yeah, no problem. The trip was easy. The ride was easy. It was nice to meet you. I met you at Bella Vista, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, definitely. And just to let you, we met at Bella Vista. I was actually getting ready for a round with a few friends of mine, and you were on the chipping green, sharpening your skills.
I
right?
guess. Trying
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I love chipping. I love putting. I'm one of those, I think it's rare to love putting. I love putting. If you told me there was a game on a large standard size golf course that only include putting, I'd play it. But a lot of guys just like to hit.
Yeah.
I love hitting as well,
Yeah.
but I really like putting.
You know what? You might be on to something though. 6,000-yard putting event.
Love putting. Love it.
So, all right. So you're saying you love putting. So I take it that's probably your best club in the bag.
Nope.
No, not the
I just
best.
love it.
You just love
Yeah,
it.
I'm not bad at putting,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing the work that I put in probably is not reflective of the scores that I card.
Yeah.
But I probably average about 32 putts around.
Okay. All right. So just to get to the beginning. So how long have you been playing? When did you start?
The first time someone put a club in my hand, I was 13, and it was in gym class.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of these kind of foam rubber balls that don't go very far.
I practice with them.
Right. So PE class at a time when you could actually give kids golf clubs and you didn't have to worry about it. Gym teacher comes out. He's like, "We're hitting golf balls today." Okay, cool. Let's hit golf balls. And it got me because I used to play baseball all the time. And what happened that day was I got the ball in the air. And to me, the quickest way to get the bug as it relates to golf is get the ball in the air.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that fairly easily. So I'm like, okay, I'm over here because I play baseball a lot. But I might get back to this someday. And I didn't play it for another decade, 15 years. Didn't even think about it because, again, I was all baseballed up.
Yeah.
And then he showed up on the PGA Tour, looking a little like us, even though he didn't claim us. And now I'm captivated. Now I need to know more about what this is, and that's when I started playing, got the bug, the whole nine. So I've been playing as a serious player since 97,
Okay.
98.
Okay, that's what's up. So so you're saying that you picked it up, you didn't get the bug right away. When you got the bug and you were like, "Hey, I'm playing." What was that thing that you looked forward to every time you were going to the course?
That's a great question. I had 4 goals when I started playing golf in 97, 98. I wanted to be a single-digit handicap. I wanted to shoot in the 70s. I wanted to shoot under par, and I wanted a hole-in-one. I've done 2 of those 4 things.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
I'm a single-digit handicap. Right now I'm carrying a 6, but I think it's heading in the wrong direction.
Okay.
And I've shot in the 70s multiple times.
Yeah.
I've never been under par, and I don't have any holes in one.
Okay.
So
That's good. That's amazing to hear, honestly.
Thank
Because
you.
I'm trying to get all of those goals. I feel as though I'm far away from those goals, but they are goals.
Right.
So for someone that was trying to get to a single-digit handicap, like what would be the first thing that you would recommend them do?
I would recommend they work on their grip. Because the grip controls the club face, and the club face decides where the ball is going to go. So grip. If you have a bad grip, you don't want a good swing.
Okay.
If you have a good swing, and if you have a bad swing, you don't want a good grip.
Okay.
The grip is the thing. It's the only thing that controls the club face. Now, they're going to tell you a million things on YouTube
Yeah.
about your elbow and your head and your neck and your right knee and your posture. Their hands control the club face, and the club face controls direction, period.
That's really interesting. And you know what? I can say that I attest to that because I got new clubs not too long ago.
Right.
And, there's a period where you have to get used to them or whatever.
Sure.
And I'm hitting them better. And what I changed was my grip. That was the main thing I changed. My old clubs, I was using my old grip with my old clubs on my new clubs.
Right.
That have a different shaft, they're stiff, all of that. So
Sure.
pretty much what I did was I just weakened my grip a little bit.
Right.
Because I had an issue. I was hooking them left. So I was like, let me just weaken my grip just a little bit. Same swing, and they're going straighter. So
Right.
the grip, that is cool. So how often do you practice?
Putting or in general?
Everything.
I probably get to the range maybe once a month,
Once a month?
maybe twice, depending, because I don't feel like beating a bunch of balls at the driving range is helpful for me.
Okay.
I can see why it would have benefit, and I've done it. But at this point, I actually feel like I get better, and I work on more specific things with slow motion swings in the house.
Okay.
That drives my wife crazy.
Yeah.
But I do it anyway because I think I can learn more from a slow motion swing than I can from just beating balls all day.
Okay.
Because a lot of times the scrape and hit, scrape and hit, scrape and hit, it's not doing anything for you. It's good for warming up.
Yeah.
But we don't scrape and hit on the golf course.
Yeah.
We have to hit shots. And you're not learning to hit shots if you're just scraping and hitting 150 balls.
Yeah. I've said this a few times on the show that I feel like sometimes the range may hurt me because I get false information. Yesterday I was hitting, especially when you're hitting on the mat.
Right.
Yesterday I was hitting on the mat and I was hitting them great, and then I get out there, I'm not hitting them great, right? And it's just really hard. I find that when I go play 9 or something like that, and I'm practicing situations
Right.
and course management and stuff like that, I gain more out of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, cool. So is there a time where you feel as though that the game has changed, not culturally, but the time that you have out there now versus when you were just beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the part of the origins of my learning to play was there was a small course. It's a par 3 course. It's not there anymore. It's a hospital called Woody's, which used to be near where we lived, which was in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
If you're familiar with the area. But anyway, it's a par 3 course, and you walk it, and they don't do tee time, or they didn't do tee times.
Yeah.
It was just come as you are. Like you'd see dudes in flip flops, jeans, sandals, whatever it is, but it was all good. And so I would invariably get there at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday, and I'd get paired with old heads.
Yeah.
All old heads. Like I'm 30 at the time,
Yeah.
somewhere near 32, and they're 50, 60, 70, 80,
Yeah.
right? And all they talked about the entire time they were playing was, that's not where you put your bag, kid. Pick it up, kid. You're taking too long, kid. So for me, to answer your question, the biggest difference between when I started and now is slow play.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody cares
Yeah.
anymore. I'm not sure courses care. I'm not sure players care. And so the game's we're not supposed to be out there for 5 hours.
Right. Right.
I don't think anybody cares. So that would be, to me, the biggest difference.
Okay.
That and, of course, the equipment. I mean, I didn't even have a driver the first 15 years I played.
Right. Wow. I played with a guy the other day that didn't have a driver. He was
There you go.
just, and everything was in the middle of the fairway
Right.
as well. So, all right. Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. All right. We've got to step away really quick, talk to our sponsor, and we'll be right back. When the banks say no, where are you going to go? If you're a small business looking for funding, or if you have a new venture that you're trying to get off the ground, go to overightsolutions.com and they'll get you the funding you need. And we're back. So let me ask you this question. I ask everyone this question. What's a misconception about the sport that most people have, whether they play or whether they don't? Like, what's something that you think people think about the sport that's wrong?
I'm not sure there are any because it is a sport of privilege.
Yeah.
And we know that they tend to have more privilege than we do. That's why golf tends to look like them and not us. It can be slow. It can be boring. It can obviously be expensive. I'm not sure there is a misconception about golf. I think what people think about golf is what it is, which is why most people don't play. There's only about 25, 6, 7 million of us.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not sure there is a misconception.
All right. Well, there it is. That
I have not found one.
I've never got that answer.
Yeah, I've not found one.
But I like
as long
that.
as I've been playing, there have been no surprises.
There's been no surprises. You know what? I'm gonna give you a surprise for me.
Okay.
I actually have fun doing it.
Okay. Okay.
Growing up, never ever being exposed to the sport. Like
Right.
I didn't have anyone in my family that played.
Right.
None of my grandfathers or anyone owned a club.
Sure.
So I've never even, I came up in, football heavy, basketball heavy family like most of us do, right? So I didn't have exposure to it.
Right.
In high school, me being on the football team and then you see the golf team,
Yep.
they don't look like you.
Nope.
Right? So it's like, even like their social lifestyle is not like yours or whatever. So you
Right.
automatically think that it's not fun. Like me, I thought I wouldn't have fun doing it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought for a second it wasn't fun. I just thought that it wasn't for me because I couldn't afford it. Or I didn't think I was welcome.
Okay.
But it never, I like hitting stuff. Again,
Right.
baseball player, tennis
Yeah.
player. So the idea of hitting stuff makes sense to me, but how am I going to get to do that? Because it costs a fortune just to get the stuff you need to participate.
Yeah.
Then you got to pay to play. I don't got to pay to go down to the spot and get jumpers up.
Yeah.
So to me, again, no surprises.
Right.
I have not really run into anything that has taken me aback and gone, man, I didn't know that's what golf was.
Right.
Because it is very non-black.
Right.
Again, and very expensive.
Right.
And very exclusive.
Yeah.
And very time-consuming.
Yeah.
But also fun. But
Right.
had you ever been? If you don't mind me asking you,
do you think?
Have you ever been miniature golfing?
Yeah.
Did you think that was fun?
Yeah.
That's all golf is.
That's
Just
all
on
it
a
is.
larger scale.
That's all it is.
So if you had fun doing that, if somebody would have put a club in your hand when you were 12, you'd have loved it.
And that's one of the reasons why I started the show. It's not like I'm doing anything groundbreaking.
Right.
But like exposure is the main thing.
Yep.
If you're not too exposed to it, you don't even know what could be.
Correct.
So I wish that I was exposed to it as a young kid.
Me too.
My 5-year-old, he's swinging. You know what I mean? And
right.
of course, every other sport too.
Sure.
But it's all about exposure. So I think that's really, really cool. So all right. So what's a way that you would get someone into the sport that is like interested, but like kind of on the fence a little bit? Like they look and see and they want to, but
If you don't mind me asking a question of your question,
Yeah.
How old are they?
yeah, that's good. Let's say they're in their 30s.
In their 30s?
Anywhere in their 30s.
I would
'Cause I feel like that's
say-
a common like for new.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I would say stay off of YouTube, except for this show.
Good one. I like that.
Go get fitted. Find a book from any book on golf from a teacher that is accredited and got some chops
Right.
and speaks to you. Like read the backs of the books because we don't read anymore. But find a book and get fitted
Yeah.
and spend all of your time in the beginning on the instruction piece as opposed to what we do typically as men and black men specifically, because that's kind of what we're conditioned to do is I got this.
Oh yeah.
I got this. How hard can it be? I got this.
Yeah.
You don't got this. And what's going to happen is it's going to lead to it's a lifelong game filled with a lifetime of frustration because you built your golf foundation on cotton.
Yeah.
It's not built on anything stable because
Yeah.
today you're working on your left elbow. Tomorrow you're working on your right elbow. The next week you're working on where your head is. The next week after that, it's ball position.
Right.
Then you get to grip. Then do I need new clubs? Well, are my shafts strong enough? Are they weak enough? Maybe I need another set of irons. You know what? The driver that I just got from last year, that's not going to work. I need this year's driver. And that's all because there's no foundation.
Yeah.
So I would say stay off of YouTube, get a book, get some moderately priced irons, and find some instruction.
Very, very important. I didn't get instructions until, I don't know. I didn't get them in the beginning.
Sure.
I didn't get them in the beginning.
Most of us don't.
But yeah,
I didn't either, by the way.
Right.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
You know what's really cool too about what you just said is like that I got this thing. That is it right there. A lot of the people that I know that play, they come in thinking that they got it.
Yep.
And I came in the same way. I felt as though like, not that I knew that there would be some learning. But as you know, as an athlete, if you've done anything well in your life and it's a sport, and then it's a sport that you might look at people and be like, they can't beat me one-on-one, so I know I can do that.
A good friend of mine, I'm not going. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm not going to shout his name out, but he was once a good athlete as well. He's old like us. He can't hit a golf ball. Like no, not straight, not left, not right. Like he struggles to actually make contact. He whiffs.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was a really good baseball player. So to your point about I'm an athlete, I got this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Golf is just not that sport. It's maybe the hardest sport ever.
I think so.
And in fairness to us, who all of us old has been broken down athletes, never was and has beens, like I said, for the most of our lives, if we tried something, we did have it.
Yeah.
Right? I can bowl a little.
Yeah.
Like I can play tennis and like I can play basketball a little bit. I can catch a football. Like I got it. But golf is not that.
Yeah.
It's just not that.
What do you think makes golf so different like that? Like, why can't anyone just pick it up or?
Well, some can,
Some
but
can.
it typically happens when you're 11, not when you're 31.
Right.
I'm guessing that because the ball's not moving and you are, and everything else we typically have tried to do has been reaction to what either someone else is doing or what the ball is doing,
Right.
which allows for our inner athleticism to take over. It's just staring at you, laughing, just looking right at you, going, "Go ahead. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Good luck."
Yeah.
And you have to do that 80 times, 90 times, however many shots it takes for you to get through a round.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Now do it again. And by the way, every one of these counts.
Right.
There are no timeouts. There are no teammates. You don't get to do anything. You can't be like, I need to talk to somebody. I got a shot coming up, because we don't have caddies like that.
Right.
You need to go from tee box to hole in as few shots as possible.
Yeah.
And when you're done, there's a card you got to write on. Put the score in, add them all up. That's why it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's by far the toughest sport. It's very humbling.
Yes.
And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I love it.
I love it.
You know what I mean? There's no other thing. We're not talking about family and
Sure.
career and stuff like that.
Love you, honey.
Yeah,
Anyway.
right. There's nothing or no other sport or anything that's ever consumed my mind so much. Like when I'm laying in bed, when I'm waking up, like, or even like after you play around and you don't, well, I don't know about you. You're a single digit handicap.
First of all, a handicap is only relative. It reflects
best
what
eight.
you're capable of.
Right.
It don't mean what you do. I shot 85 yesterday.
Right. I would love we're popping bottles, I shoot 85. All right. We're popping bottles, I shoot 85.
You're right. Perspective is a thing.
Perspective.
So,
But you know what? That's why I said I love having, golfers of all skill set on the show, because perspective, we get to see it.
Right.
We get to see it. Like I said, like if I'm shooting a low 90s, man, I'm like, yeah, I
Okay.
came here to do what I came to do.
Okay. Yeah. So do you have a handicap?
Do I have a handicap? Yeah, my handicap ain't good though, but it's like a 26, man.
Okay,
It's like a
okay.
26.
Well,
know
there's
what I
good news
mean?
in that.
Yeah.
There's good news in that.
Yeah.
And this is one of the funny things about golf is that it is, I'm not going to say easy, easier to go from 26 to 18. You can do that like that.
Yeah.
It's not as easy, but still relatively easy to go from 18 to 12.
Yeah.
12 to 5, something else.
Right.
That's something else.
I hear that too.
And then 5 to scratch. Okay.
we're talking.
And then scratch to competitive amateur.
Yeah.
And then competitive amateur to professional.
Right.
There's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
And the better you get, the harder it is to get better.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Definitely, definitely. To even just put it on a smaller scale, I feel like when you first start and you learn the basics, like the basics of like hit the ball, ball position, grip, this, this, and that. I feel like you get over. I don't say you don't get good, but you might get gains quick.
Yes.
And then you'll plateau.
Correct.
Very quick.
Correct.
And then you're struggling to whatever that plateau is, just getting over that.
Right.
Right now, like what you said also too, like being able to go from 20 something to 18, I can tell you what shots are stopping me from getting to 18. Like what type of shots or what situations, right? So it's a few things that I got to work on, and most of them are, management on the course, but also executing what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So I understand that, and then also too, right, to get lower is less mistakes.
Yes.
That's the name of the game. Making
Golf is
less
a mistake
mistakes.
game.
Yeah,
So.
and not really like trying to get the birdies, trying to get the pars. Really, just not trying to f up.
Yeah, doubles and triples are the quickest way I know to raise your score.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I understand that. I had a tough day putting yesterday, and it was the kind of day where the ball would just stop at the hole.
Okay.
And wouldn't go in. So I had like 5 of them, and I felt
Well, Nicholas says that he never missed a putt.
okay.
They just didn't go in. Right, which sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you really listen to what he's saying all we can do is prepare to hit the best putt possible. Mm-hmm. There are hundreds of things between your ball and the hole that could jack up the flow that has nothing to do with you.
Right.
But we tend to that's the other thing about golf. It's the most internalized sport ever.
Yeah.
Every shot you hit, well, I must have done something wrong.
Right.
As opposed to, you know what, the tee box is jacked up.
Yeah.
You know what, the greens are jacked up.
Right.
You know what, this ball's got a cut in it and I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
You know what, this ain't my fault, but that's not what golf is.
Right.
So if it helps, right, you might have had a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
You just didn't go in. How many putts did you have? Do you count them?
No, I don't count my putts.
Oh.
I don't count my putts. Like I count my putts per hole. Like I know if I 2-putted or not.
Okay. I highly recommend that you don't go, I wouldn't say go too deep into the stats.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend counting your fairways, greens, putts, those 3 things.
Okay.
Because you will find out in short order, dag, I need to keep the ball more on the fairway.
Yeah.
Dag, I need to hit more greens.
Yeah.
Dag, I have 40 putts. They give you 36, right?
Yeah.
Because the math would be to a hole, that's 36
Yeah.
for an 18-hole course.
Right.
If you got 40-something putts, well, there you go right there.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend that you take a look at only those 3 stats. And there's a bunch of other ones out there, but whatever.
I narrowed it down, not by number.
Okay.
But I know what the issue is. I don't hit greens in regulation
Okay.
enough.
Okay.
And that's just what it comes down to. I 2-putt a lot.
Okay.
It's just the 2 shots before that, the approach game. So right now I'm really working on my approach. Last year was all driver. I had to get my driver right.
Right.
My driver is my best club in the bag now, and that was not the case last year, the year before that.
Nice.
But yeah, that approach game, 100 yards, getting onto the green, and having a putt or two to
Scoring.
get to score. So scoring is my issue.
Scoring's everybody's issue. If
Yeah.
that makes you feel better.
Nothing's
everybody-
going to make me feel better.
I'm trying.
I'm
trying. Scoring is everybody's issue.
Yeah.
Because the goal is to turn 3 shots into 2. Mm-hmm. So when you miss a green,
Yeah.
how often do you get up and down?
Yeah, it's tough.
Because they miss screens too.
Yeah.
The pros miss. They only hit. Now, here's the thing about a television broadcast of a golf tournament. And you know this because you're in the business. It's a television broadcast, so you're only going to see the best players do the best stuff.
Right.
But there's lots of dudes. Well, he only hit 8 fairways today, shot 75. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
But what they do better than anybody else who play this game is miss a green, chip it on, make the putt.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is. Like, that's where you'll see the biggest gains in score, and that's where you'll see the biggest gains in handicap.
Okay. So would you say so practicing short game is
All the
important?
time.
Is important.
All the time.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have are you all right, so you mentioned the equipment. Are you into like the gear and stuff like that? Like looking at the specs and what just dropped?
I'm not into it on a scientific level. I'm into it on the stuff level.
Okay.
Yeah, just I like stuff.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't. I mean, I know what I need because I've already gone through the process of what's best for my swing,
Right.
and my body.
Right.
But beyond that, I don't like. I just want it to feel good and look good.
I feel that, yeah. Feel good and look good is
That's it.
It's important.
That's it.
Some people act like it's not, but
Feel good. What Dion? What do you say?
Dion, feel good, look good, play good,
Correct. And then they pay good.
and then they pay good.
Correct.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
All right. We got to step away. We're going to step away real quick. One more sponsor, and we'll get back to you. We plan on being on the golf course all day long this year. Let's do one thing for our wives and make sure that we get the flowers right. Let's leave the gas station flowers along. Let's skip the supermarket and make sure you go down to New Blossom Flowers. You can order flowers. It's easy. They're guaranteed to be fresh, and they're sure to keep you out of trouble. And also, tell them that Swank Golf sent you. And we're back. We're back to the Swank Golf podcast. Sitting here with my man Earl, talking shop about golf. I want to ask you this question. You know, they talk about growing the game, right? The term growing the game. And your time playing, have you seen a growth? Would you
Only
say?
because of COVID.
Only
But
because of COVID did it.
Wait, well, let me back up. Do you mean us or in general?
Both.
I would say for us, yes, because of the Tiger effect. But for everybody else, probably COVID.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, and I'm sure you do, because we all lived it, it was the first thing we could do.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't do anything. And then somebody said, the governor, president, whoever it was like, well, we can be outside. All right, man, Ben Fauci. We can be outside. Well, what can we do outside? I'm not going camping. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You can come play golf. You don't have to be close to anybody. You
Yep.
can walk. You don't have to touch they actually took away the rakes.
Yeah.
You don't have to touch the flag. Come play golf. You're outside, it's all good. So we get this growth in the game, which is probably why we're up to 27, 8 million, because it's normally 25.
Okay.
But that would probably be the biggest thing in terms of growth.
Okay.
I do have one anecdote for you that I didn't realize.
Okay. What do you got?
When I first started, I didn't realize this. In general, and it may be a little different now, but in general, there are always the same number of golfers every year. Because for the number of people that get bit like you did and like I did, it's an opposite amount of people who throw their clubs in the lake because they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, COVID was the big growth, but generally there's always the same number of golfers because people quit as quickly as they get bit.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, how do people quit after, like, investing all this time? I guess not getting better.
The frustration just gets to you. Like, depending on what your goals are as
Yeah.
you begin your journey in the game. Like, I'm actually going through it now. There's no way I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
Because I've invested, to your point, too much time, too much money, too much energy, and I love the game.
Yeah.
But there is this point where I still have these two goals that I've been working on, these last two
Yeah.
that I've been working on for a quarter century.
Yeah.
And I realize that a hole-in-one is as much luck as anything else, but I still want one. I got
Yeah.
too many guys in my ear that I play with. Well, I got 2. I got 4. Okay, whatever. Anyway, you're not better than me, but you got 4 holes in one. Nevertheless,
Right.
I still want that. And I still want to shoot under par.
Uh-huh.
And I've had more than one occasion now where I've been standing on the 15th, 16th hole, 1 or 2 under, and just didn't close. If that happens too often, I'm going to at least need to take a break from my mental health.
Yeah.
Because those are tough days. For
Yeah.
me now.
Okay. You
So
got to
I'm
reset.
right. I'm right there.
Yeah.
So
That's what I tell
it's my NBA championship.
Right.
Right. To be more specific to current events, going under par is my NBA championship.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to Game 7
Yeah.
and lost like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, that's tough. I told my wife that it's like when you got a goal in golf or whatever, and sometimes it hurts more to get close to it than shit in the bed. You know?
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
one of
mean?
the things that I've had to get better at and mature mature and get better at and learn is it used to be that early in a round, if I realized I wasn't going to be able to shoot 79 or 78, I would mentally quit. And so now what should have been, like yesterday, for example, 10 years ago, that would have been a 94 because I'm in my own bag now because I'm not going to do the thing I wanted to do.
Right.
As opposed to, it's okay, you're not going to do the thing that you wanted to do, but you can still put up a good score,
Right.
and have a good time. So I had to really
And-
train myself and get myself right on that.
And that hole in one could come on that next.
And
You
that
know,
hole
you
in
could
one could
shoot
come.
a terrible
Yes.
score, but still get that hole in
Yes.
one. And I'm sure that
Yes.
you would care.
Yes, yeah,
You know
I
what
had
I
to. I'm not afraid to admit that I was quitting on rounds when I knew, because you know how it goes. You get out the car, you're feeling good. You get to the range, it's all love. It's 78 degrees and sunny. It's a picture perfect day. You couldn't think of another place you'd rather be outside of the family, obviously.
Yeah.
And you triple bogey the first hole.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
Right. Expectations are
so
crazy.
I'm much better at
Expectations.
that now. Much better at that now.
Expectations is something that I have to keep in mind. If you have a good round, I don't come back to the next round with that round on my mind.
Right.
You mentioned on something that makes me want to ask you this. How is golf like life to you?
That's a really good question. I would say for me, golf helps me. Well, actually, let me back up. I'm an only child.
Okay.
So there's a singularity to golf for me that works really well. Now, I realize that golf is a communal game and it's a fellowship game, and most people come to the game either with friends or they meet friends after they start playing. Shortly after they start playing, they have this community of golfers. Not my case.
Okay.
None of my bulls from over the years play. So I play with strangers a lot.
Okay.
And I kind of like it because it gets me to focus on just golf, and I don't have to have any superfluous conversations about, how many kids you got? 1. Like, that's typically my answer. You married? Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not here for a lot of chit-chat
Yeah.
with strangers.
Yeah.
And I like it because I'm here to do this thing that I
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
without the extra. Now, I love playing with friends and people I know and that sort of thing, but having to do a lot of stuff solo and then coming to golf solo and the journey mostly being solo has been good for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. One thing I can say about myself is when I'm with my closest friends, we'll party, we'll hang out, and
Yeah, you're about to shoot 111.
we're having some fun. And not as much fun as
Right.
when we first started.
Sure.
Because the competitive side,
course.
But
Oh, you're gambling out here?
not me. Not me.
Okay.
Sometimes I got some friends who gamble.
Okay.
If I get pressured into it, I will. I'm not the gambler.
Okay.
But I got some friends who are.
Okay.
I have one thing that I think about a lot when I'm out there is like if we get paired with, say I go with one friend and we get paired with another 2, I normally play better because I'm I'm holding it down for my crew, for the race, for the everything. Because I know some people look at us and be like, oh, I don't think they're supposed to be on the course. Or I wonder if these guys are good. Even if the tee box, if people waiting behind us, I hit my best drives. I hit my best drives when I got people watching.
I'm laughing at you because that's literally my journey. Because again, my bulls don't play. And I didn't run into a lot of people who were us that played until I'd been playing for, maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
When I started to find a community of us playing. There is maybe no greater feeling in golf for me than being a solo or being a single paired up with three of them and beating the dog shit out of them.
Oh yeah.
Nothing feels better on a golf course. And then at the end, they just kind of shake hands. We shake hands. Go, really enjoy watching you play, and I can see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had no idea this was going to happen to you, did you?
Oh yeah.
Have a good day. All right now. Love it.
Even yesterday, the starter, you know, he wasn't being rude at all.
They
wasn't
can't help
being,
themselves.
He wasn't being rude
They're
at
not
all.
being rude. It's just a thing.
So
They can't help themselves.
there's 2 holes, you know, 1 and 10 are like right next to each other.
Right.
And we weren't starting at 1, we were starting at 10.
Okay.
Or whatever. But we drove up to 1 because obviously that's where you normally start.
Right.
But they were like, no, we're over here. And there was another group waiting. And then I was like, guys, you got to come over here. Like, kind of talking to us as if we never played or if we don't really know.
Yeah.
But then we got it, all 4 of us hit bombs.
Right.
And it just felt so good.
really
It just
does.
felt so good. It was a hell of a drive, buddy.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay.
But
That's
you
funny.
know, at the same, like, I'm the type of person where it's like I'm gonna carry my confidence in every room.
Right.
Right. So once I get on to a place where it's like I'm not as good as I think I should be or whatever, then I'm gonna put the work in and I'm gonna not to prove people, but just to prove to myself that I can carry it wherever.
Right.
Which brings me to another thing that we kind of touched on earlier. So me bringing it, what my bringing it is, might not be your bringing it, right? So your bringing it is way lower than mine's.
Right.
But in my mind, I always keep in mind of how long I've been playing.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
I got some friends that I played with who've been playing for 20 years. You know, they were on the high school golf team. They were, you know, they played, right?
Okay.
And this is like some of the guys where I get the etiquette and I get
Good
some
for
of those
you.
things from.
Yeah. Good for you.
And it's like, but, you know, I want to beat those guys every time
Right.
I'm playing,
Right.
right? And it's like, I know that because I just started that I'm not as good as other people, but I do know that I feel as though that I'm better than most people that might have been playing for 4 years.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah, I got you.
So I keep that in my mind.
Are
Right?
you playing a bit of the comparison game as you in your journey?
Myself.
Okay.
I compare to myself.
Okay.
I'm the type of person that I'll say that I might beat myself up, not as much as I used to on the course, but afterwards, I'm definitely looking at my score and trying to find out where I messed up.
Right.
I don't. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't gamble when I play, because I'm not really concerned with other people. I'm really concerned with what I'm doing.
Right.
And I know it's, you know, me against the other players, but it was me versus the course and me versus me.
Right.
And then like I identify the things that I need to work on.
Right.
Even if beating myself up is one of them.
Right.
So yeah, I don't really compare myself to other people. I compare myself to myself because
Yeah, to your point about not caring what other people score, it's one of the reasons I don't like to gamble,
yeah.
because if we're gambling, now I am worried about what you're doing. And if you're not playing, because not everybody knows the rules, they know them a little, but we still take liberties. You play with guys who take liberties, but once we're gambling, nah, Holmes, nah. You're back there. You're hitting from back there, and that's going to be 3.
Yeah.
No, Holmes, no. That's out of bounds. What are you talking about? There are no mulligans when we're gambling,
Right.
which is why I don't really gamble. 'Cause
Right.
then I become that dude, and I don't want to be that dude.
I understand that. It definitely changes it. It changes it because so I got into a league. When we met, that was actually my first round for that league.
Okay.
And it was my first time playing competitive. And it's totally different. It's totally different because
Yes.
number one, you know, the guys that I'm playing with, we're you know, ain't no gimmies, ain't no
Exactly.
you good, ain't none of that.
Right.
And you know, if it's a red steak, white steaks, we doing that.
Yes.
And that's not how I play when I'm with my boys.
Right.
Right.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
It's just when,
That's fine,
something's
right?
on the line. And that's also, here's what's interesting about that. When you play with your boys, you may want to consider playing that way
Yeah.
so that it prepares you for when you have to play that way.
I play that way.
Okay.
Like, if I'm playing with my boys, if I go out near a white steak, I probably won't give myself 2 strokes. I'll probably give myself 1.
Okay.
All right. If I'm with my boys. If we're playing in the AGS league, I'm giving myself the proper strokes.
Okay. I'm impressed you can do that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Because I wasn't always able to, like right now, I feel like I'm good enough where I'm always learning.
Right. Well, y'all are.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're all learning.
Sure.
But I feel like I'm at the point now where it's like you can't have this easy shit.
I wasn't gonna say anything because you brought it, but until you brought it up. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a ceiling to how good you can get if you don't play by the rules.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because you're the 89, and you'll feel better. You'll be better for it, and you'll feel better about it when you do shoot 89, and you will. But do you want to shoot 89 with a mulligan,
Yeah.
or do you want to shoot 89? Do you want to shoot 89 because you took one shot on an OB instead of two, or do you want to shoot 89?
Yeah.
And you said, right, you're nearly obsessed with the game.
Yeah.
How you think about it, what you're doing when you're late at night.
Yeah.
Right, you got your wife next to you. Instead of thinking about her, you think about the 4-putter you missed.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Play by the rules.
Yeah.
Play by the rules. It's
Yeah.
not going to hurt you. It doesn't hurt you to play by the rules.
No, it doesn't. And when I look at my league scores, and I see it, it actually if it's a little higher than I want it, it actually makes me feel all right because I know that the reason why.
You earned it.
Yeah,
That's right.
because but yeah, that definitely adds some. Do you play competitive at all? Have you been in any
Not as much
leagues
as
or-
I would like to. I've been thinking about. There's a couple of leagues and a couple of tours. I think there's the AMA or AJ. I can't think of the name.
AGS.
Yeah, that tour. I've been looking into that, but I was pretty committed to on my golfing journey, not making my family, my wife a golf widow, and my daughter not know who I am because
Right.
I'm on a golf course. And you know this, like once you get to that point, I'm leaving the house at 7. I'm not coming back till 8.
Yeah.
And I mean, on a Saturday, and you only get how many Saturdays a year, right? So I can't. And so ultimately, I just stopped. I never got to that point. But I'm thinking about it. It might be too late though, because I'm old now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
you know.
look, I don't think
I got to
so.
play seniors.
I don't think so. I don't think so, dude. Because obviously you're good as hell. So, I mean, one thing, the league that we're in, which is really cool, is that there's like tiers, and
Right.
brackets, and at first I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm not good enough for that. But I'm playing against
you have
like-minded
flights.
handicaps, so
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is really cool. So when it comes to getting ready for a round, do you have any like routines? Or
I do.
anything you do the night before?
It's funny. Typically, where I play, and I guess most places that we play don't have ranges. So, I try to stretch a little bit because you never know. I'm one swing away from a bad back. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So I try to stretch, and I try to chip if they allow it, and I try to putt a little bit. But the only thing I really do, and I use one ball. I don't drop like 3, 4, 5 balls
When you're practicing?
one ball. And what I'm trying to do on the putting green when I get to the course is speed. That's all. I rarely even hit to a hole. I usually just, hit to the fringe, then hit to the fringe on the other side, then hit to the fringe that way. Uphill, downhill, side hill, that whole thing. Just because I want to get a feel for speed, because speed is everything in putting.
Right.
So,
Right.
But I don't have anything special. Just,
None.
a couple
Okay.
calisthenics, a little stretching.
Yeah.
And then starter says, go, we go.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you know what speed is it? I mean, what I was telling you about, what I was doing yesterday, it was speed.
Right.
It was speed. I think it was because rain. It's been raining a lot. Greens were slow.
Well, Ed Oliver, are they known for?
It's not a great place.
I was going to say, is that a nice course these days?
It's a good place for the community.
Fair enough.
Good place for the community.
Fair enough.
Speaking of nice courses, what's your favorite course around here?
Ooh, wow. Can I just give you a list?
Yeah, give me top 3.
I like the Architects.
Okay.
In New Jersey.
Okay.
I got to shout out Turtle Creek because it's around the way.
Okay.
That's my spot. And I like Windcoat.
Oh, Windcoat, yeah.
Yeah, have you played Windcoat?
Yeah, I played Windcoat before.
What do you think?
It was tough, man. You lose the ball. You got to stay out of the fescue.
You do.
Links golf courses. I mean, it was like 2 years ago for me. I feel like now I would do better.
It's plenty fair though.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's tight. Like
Yeah.
you hit it where you're supposed to. In general, you'll find it.
Well, like I was saying, I'm hitting my driver way better now.
Right.
So at that time, I was not.
Okay.
So that's why I was in the fescue a lot. So,
What kind of driver do you have?
I have a TSI 2.
Oh, Titleist man.
Yeah, I like my driver. My driver's Titleist.
Okay.
My irons are Srixon.
Oh, I have Strixons.
Yeah, I love them. I love them.
do
I
too.
just love the sound.
Yeah,
of
we.
them.
I just found out that we're taking a trip to Japan. And
Okay.
I told my wife, you know, Japan is known for irons,
Right.
and they make good steel. So be careful.
You might, yeah,
Be careful. Mess
and
around,
the
come back
price
here
would
with
be
some
good
new iron.
too out there.
Yeah, we're killing the yen right now.
Yeah,
I already looked.
yeah.
Already looked.
You got it. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, what kind of putter you use?
I have an even roll.
We have like the same bag.
Oh, here's
Got
what's
an even
funny.
roll as well.
I want to mess with a mallet,
Okay.
but I haven't found one that's.
You have blade. Okay.
No, it's a wide blade, not
Okay.
the blades, the thicker ones.
Okay.
And I hear all the stuff about the mallets. I read all the stuff, and I'm not anti-mallet.
Yeah.
Them Jones is just ugly. And what I say about looking good and it's got to feel good and look good,
Yeah.
I haven't found a mallet that's not ugly.
I got the one with the points. Little
Oh, what do you have? The
manta
Odyssey joint?
rays.
Or no, you have
no,
the even
it's
roll.
the even roll 530 hatchback.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a teardrop the other day.
Okay.
This is a company that was in the league 30 years ago. They was hot in these streets. And
Okay.
then somehow, some way, they bounced back, and it had pretty good reviews. And it's not hideous looking, so I'm looking at it. It's
Okay.
not super expensive. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
But mallets are ugly to me. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
I get that. I got some friends that have some lab putters, and I've tried them. They're really nice, but they're really ugly too.
Like my putter doesn't have any sight lines on it.
Okay.
I like it naked, so
Okay.
no dots, no lines, no nothing. It's just some steel at the bottom of the shaft.
That makes sense, though. I mean, look, you've been playing for a while.
Yeah. Well, I feel
and
like-
you got some skills. I don't think you need that stuff.
Well, it's not a need. It's just I feel like, because again, I get back always for me in golf. It gets back to look and feel.
Right.
Always, always, always. And I feel like they're distracting. And if there's stuff on my putter, I'm now looking at the putter go back.
Right.
And so I'm just looking. I like the idea of not seeing anything but ball and steel.
Right.
And it feels like it frees me up.
Okay.
So.
All right, that's real cool. That's real cool. I love this stuff, like the real detailed stuff when it comes to clubs and what people like, what their preferences are. Look, I went through a rabbit hole of like changing all my grips and different grip sizes and finding my hands. And
That's a good idea, though.
all
That's
that
how you
stuff.
learn.
Yeah, and I'm really comfortable with what I have right now as far as like my grips and everything like that. For someone who was, who would like start, right, a fresh player, let's say they have some irons, right? What would you tell them to do because you were in these shoes, what would you tell them to do if they didn't have a community to play with?
I would say get is it the Golf Now app?
Okay.
Yeah, because you can find whatever's in the general area, how far you want to drive. I think it goes out as far as 50 miles. And you can, there's still courses around here that will let you book as a single.
Yeah.
So that would be one way to do it.
Okay.
And if I may add one quick thing on gear, as it relates to newbies, play the same ball. Doesn't matter what you paid for it. Whether you have a bag full of range balls or a bag full of Pro V1s,
Right.
play the same ball.
Yeah.
Because the game is about finding as much consistency as you can.
Yeah.
And I think one of the underrated things about our journey as amateur golfers is, just go get a ball. They the same.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like they spend millions upon millions of dollars in research and development to make sure they're not the same.
Right.
Callaway doesn't want to be the same as Titleist.
Yeah.
TaylorMade doesn't want to be the same as Vice.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. So find the ball you like, play that ball. That way you know how it's going to react when you hit a drive.
Right.
You know how it's going to react when you hit an iron. You know how it's going to react when you hit a chip, when you hit a putt. How high does it go? How low does it go? Is it one bounce and check, or is it bounce and roll? All of those things, and you can't ever get there if I'm gonna play a Titleist on the 3rd hole. I'm gonna play a TaylorMade on the 6th hole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a Callaway on a 9th hole. You're hurting yourself.
Yeah. I understand that. They have ball fittings too, right? They have ball fittings. I'm kind of on a journey, I think, of finding my ball. I don't know. I had a ball that I liked a lot. I'm kind of in the journey right now.
That's
I know
fine.
with my swing
Totally
speed,
fine.
with my swing speed, I probably should be using a softer ball. They say, but it's like I don't know. The nicer balls, the more expensive balls,
Yes.
Pro V1s and TP5s and stuff like that. When I hit them, they just feel so good.
They do.
They feel so good. But
That's the research and development I was talking about.
they're like
Yeah,
50,
they do.
$60.
They
for
are.
a
Well,
box.
it's funny. I'm a Vice Pro now.
Okay.
Vice Pro Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can get 6 dozen for $33 delivered to the house.
Oh yeah, and I do like the feel of those.
Yeah,
I do
it's a
like the
ball.
feel of
It's
those.
a good ball. I didn't think my game was good enough to worry about spin around the greens. I was wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong.
You spin it back. You spin it
Yeah,
back.
evidently, I just wasn't hitting the ball right, and I wasn't using the right ball because I took a short game lesson
Okay.
maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
Shout out Miss Diane.
Okay.
She straightened me right out, got me where I needed to be in terms of chipping and pitching, and I wasn't quite getting the check that I want to get because I see regular people doing it, regular mugs. I ain't talking about the pros.
Yeah.
Now, how come you know what? Let me try this Vice Pro Plus because I hear that it does everything all the other balls do,
Yeah.
and it gives you a little bit of spin, some control around the greens. And I hit one, a little 30-yard pitch, stop, check, did it again. I'm like, oh, this is what they mean. So thanks to her and the change of this ball, my short game's getting better. So I think I'm gonna get there. I think
Okay.
I am.
That's cool. I'm gonna give those a try. When I first started, I was trying them, and then you just start going around. Sure. It's weird. So I have a putting mat at the house.
Nice.
And I have these Vice Pro Pluses. They're like gold.
Yeah.
And I putt with them.
Okay.
But I don't play with them. I played with them one time, and it's because it was gold. I couldn't find the ball. So now I just putt with them.
Right.
But now I'm thinking about what you're saying about being consistent. I'm like practicing with a ball that I don't play. I might, I'll have one ball in the mix, one of these tailor-made balls. I'll have one of those in the mix that I'm putting. But yeah, like you said, I'm not even practicing with the right ball.
Right. And again, I want to be clear, doesn't matter what you spend. What the important thing is, or the important thing to note is what the ball does and whether you can trust that the ball is going to do what you think it's going to do. But if you're guessing, because that's what you're doing, right? If you're playing with 5 different balls in a round, you're guessing. Because again, some balls are designed to go farther than others. Yeah. Some are designed to feel softer than others. Right. Some are designed to have higher launch and low spin. Some are designed like rocks and they just go. Yeah. Some have more spin off a driver. Some have more spin off an iron. Like all of this stuff is happening with a golf ball. And I think as all of us amateurs stay on our journeys with golf, it's really important that we have an idea, even no matter what your skill level is, you have an idea of what the ball's gonna do.
Okay. All right. Definitely going to keep that in mind. So getting back to community.
Sure.
You're a member of the Philadelphia Strokers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Know a little bit, did a little research on it. You can just tell us about the group and.
It's only my 3rd year. It's just a group of good black men, mostly, and we fellowship and we play every other week. Okay. Generally, various courses in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Jersey. I think we're going to Jersey this year. Oh yes, we're playing Pennsauken this year, which I never played.
I played before.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Okay.
It's a good time. There's certainly some things that we could improve, like anything else. But yeah, it works out. And it gives me the opportunity as a single, as I was saying, as a solo act in golf, it gives me community every other week for 12 dates throughout the summer. Okay. So, there's no real downside.
Okay. What's the competition level? Are you guys like at each other's necks or what?
I'm not at anybody's neck. But yeah, we do have competition. There's low growth stuff and there's birdie pots and things. And I think we have a mid-season tournament and then there's an end-of-season tournament and then there's a Mr. Strokers. There's a whole bunch of stuff competitively that's going on where people can get it in. But I would say that in general, we could be, as a group, a little better. But it's just going to take a little more practice, a little more time, that sort
Okay.
of thing.
Well, I would love to have some more members on the show.
Sure.
Talk to them, get their journeys, get you guys out there.
Yeah.
So let them know.
I
for
will
sure.
certainly let them know that this exists and I was on it and the whole deal. So
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. When it comes to golf and anything, do you like traveling?
Traveling
and
to
playing
play.
golf, traveling to play.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
yeah.
I don't do it as much because again, I've mostly been a solo act.
Right.
But I've been to Williamsburg. I'm going to Myrtle on Sunday.
Okay, that's good.
A week. I'll be in Myrtle for a week. It's like 38 people, 40 people.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to play 6 rounds in 7 days, or 6 rounds in 7 days. Yeah, we're playing Sunday through Friday, or no, we're playing Sunday through Saturday.
That is awesome.
I guess.
You're gonna be tired.
Yes, that's the part.
You're
that
gonna
part.
be tired.
There was a time when I could play 36 in a day, multiple days in a row. I'm pretty sure that time has passed. So
Right.
it's going to be some painkillers and or pain relievers or whatever it is, Advils, Tylenol, something going on. I'm thinking after dinner, right to the house and get a shower and sleep. Like
Right.
all of this, all I'm thinking about is recovery. I'm not thinking about the course. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to play. Just recovery because I want to get to the end and not be doubled over. Because 6 rounds of golf is going to be a lot.
No, I get that. I get that. Do you have any during this 6-day, 7-day golf outing? Do you have any goals like while you're there?
Well, there's a tournament,
okay.
so I'm trying to win it.
So you're trying to win it.
Yeah.
It's a single tournament.
No, it's flighted, like
Okay.
what you guys do with your group. It's flighted, so I'm in the I think it's the championship flight. And then there's an A flight, an A+ flight, and so yeah, it's a 3-day tournament, and low person wins.
Okay.
So I'm trying to win it.
That's what's up, man. And come home with the pot, maybe a trophy.
All of that. Yes.
Okay.
All
So, what's your style when you're on the course? What's your style, like clothes wise?
Oh, well, yeah. It's funny. I'm of an age where you were ridiculed for mixing brands,
Okay.
and so I don't mix brands. Like if I'm wearing Adidas shoes, then everything will be Adidas. If I'm wearing Nike shoes, then everything will be Nike. So I think my style is just modern casual. Is that a thing?
Okay. Yeah, modern casual.
Yeah, modern
okay.
casual's thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm like that too. I cannot mix brands. It's
I
hard.
don't understand.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, what are you doing?
You
You have
know
Adidas
what?
shoes, Nike shorts, Under Armour shirt. What are you doing? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I don't know if I ever wear Under Armour shoes though.
Yeah, well, first of all, they're charging $200 and they're not even nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's crazy. Yeah, I like to get a little fly on the course a little bit. I feel like the fashion side of the game is definitely like an industry that has boomed because there's so many different types of
It's-
styles.
absolutely a thing since you started playing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, before East Side and some of the others that were, for us, by us,
Right.
sort of, so to speak. Yes, whatever we had is what we had, man. Like,
Right.
we would go to Walmart or something, and what they got is what you got.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Tiger's relationship with Nike changed the game.
Definitely.
Literally, from a haberdashery perspective. Now you can let me go get one of those shirts and they just look better
Yeah.
than some of the other brands. They
Right.
just look better. So
Yeah, yeah, that is cool. I mean, he definitely came with some swag. I
did.
mean, I was 97. I don't know how old I was. 97. I was young. I was a young boy when I was like 12 or something, 13. But
wow.
yeah,
Did
but
he just say that out loud? He called me old again, didn't he? That's like the third time, isn't it? Okay, right on. I got it.
no, but I was super aware of what was going on with Tiger, but I didn't appreciate it like I think I should have.
Right.
Like now, me looking back,
Sure.
knowing how hard the game is and the stuff that he was doing and the records he was breaking, the people that he was surpassing, and at the time, how fast he was doing it.
Right.
I just didn't understand it. And I feel like a lot of us didn't understand how or what he actually was doing.
Sure. Yeah, those who came to the game a little later or a little younger than, or a lot younger than I am, that's certainly true. But You must have felt something in 2019 when he won the Masters.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, did you get the chills?
Yeah.
That's what it was like all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That Sunday when you're glued to the TV watching Tiger win the Masters, and you're like, is he gonna? Is he not gonna? Is he gonna choke? Is he gonna? And then he won it.
Yeah.
That feeling right there. My generation got it all the time. That's how good he was. All the time.
When they talk about Scotty and like how good Scotty is, and then like how many years he needs to be number one to even get close to Tiger, it just really blows my mind. You asked me before we started, like, you know, if I watch, how much golf I do watch, and I do watch it a lot. And growing up, I would never watch it. I would never even think about watching it. But now I can turn it on and have it on all day. You know, walking in and out of the room, and I'm seeing what people are doing. I'm listening to the commentators. Sure. I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to like emulate these guys, but I'm just learning the game based off of what is being said.
It's a great way to do it.
You know, and then also too, like I said, I'm out there playing, and I know how hard it is. So the respect that I have for these guys, or even, you know, a single digit handicap, dude, it's like, yo, to be able to be locked in, for that long, it's tough, and that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah,
being locked
people
in.
will say, and I get it. Look, Nicholas won more majors, so it's fine. Like if that's what we're doing, we go, well. It's the same thing with the LeBron, Jordan debate. And more rings, if that's what we're doing, okay, fine. But if you were there, it's hard to believe that anybody was ever as dominant, as interesting, and as transformative as Tiger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then too, like they say, he changed the game with adding like weight training and all of those things into the game. I really think that if Tiger would have, he probably couldn't because he had to play the game, but if he would have embraced us more back then, his legacy is his legacy. But I think it would be a little even higher if he would have embraced us.
So Cablasian didn't do it for you? Huh?
Yeah, that's
when he said he was Cablasian, that wasn't enough? That wasn't enough of a connect for you?
That wasn't enough. But what do you think about
There is
that?
video, though, by the way, of when he was a kid, and he says something to the effect of, it's out there. You can look it up, where he talked about the blacks and the struggle. He was like 12, 13.
I think I did see that.
Yeah.
I did, but I think maybe behind closed doors, they were probably was like,
I give Tiger some grace in that it had to have been some incredible level of identity crisis because he's a middle-class kid playing this sport that's not for him, and his mom is Asian, and God rest her soul, and his pop's black, God rest his soul, all of that, and he seemed a little geeky. I don't know if you've seen any documentaries of him, but he just kind of not comfortable in his own skin. Like, it had to be a whole thing where now I get to this place and I'm that guy. But is it okay for me to just be black? Or is it not okay for me to just be black?
Yeah.
And I can understand why he might think it wasn't okay.
yeah, especially at that time.
Yeah.
That period. But you know what? But like we said, I mean, the representation was there.
Right.
And, whether we seen it or whether it was intentional or not, and led us to what's here now. Do you have, well, you said you don't watch it as much as you used to, but do you have any favorite golfers?
I do, absolutely.
Who do you got?
I
Who you
like Brooks Koepka.
Oh, yeah.
I still like Freddie Couples. For shout out to the old heads. I like whenever he plays. I like watching Ernie Els hit a golf ball. I like, let's see, on the regular tour, I would say, who do I like? I kind of like Scotty. I like watching him play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that he seems he seems unorthodox. And I appreciate unorthodox.
Yeah.
I'm going to be unorthodox because I haven't been birthed in the game. And I
Right.
haven't taken a million lessons and hit a million balls. But that shuffle thing he does, he still hits the ball 9 miles dead straight.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I think it's cool too that he's the number one guy, and his swing is not what they teach.
Yeah.
And every teacher's like, you got to do it this way. And it's
Right.
like the same way.
Right.
And then the best guy is doing is something totally different.
Yeah, but I got to be honest. They don't speak to golf was a very corporate game until Tiger showed up with all of the swag that you spoke about and everything that he brought to the table. So, I mean, does Xander Schauffele have a personality? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Does Patrick Cantlay have a personality? I assume they do.
Yeah.
But how would we know?
Yeah.
Does Max Homa? I guess Max Homa's personable. I guess Justin Thomas is personable. Like,
YouTube
they don't,
allows us in a little bit.
a little bit.
And, you know, they were bashing Bryson for this, for being his own content creator and stuff like this. But now everyone's trying to do it because
Right.
YouTube and golf content creators are getting more views than PGA. And it's shifting. And now everyone's saying, like, hey, we got to let people in.
Right.
So to your Xander thing, Xander just launched an app.
Of course he did.
And the app allows you to like watch his practices and get the personal side because he doesn't have that.
Right.
Shout out to Xander. I'm a left-hand low putter, so
Okay.
shout out to Xander.
I'm standard. It's funny. I know that left hand low and the claw. That's the claw. Right?
That's the call. My man, he do a claw.
Yeah, there's so many different types out there, but I feel like the amount of time that it would take to get comfortable doing that, I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I just don't want to go backwards. But shout out to you, though, because you're coming to the game new, and you went left-hand low almost from
I got the
from
top. No, not from the gate.
Oh, okay.
Not from the gate. Not from the gate. When I got my new putter, probably was like a year or 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was experimenting with it, and
Oh,
I noticed that my misses, I was blowing it past the hole.
Okay.
And I was like, why? And it was my right hand was just dominating too much. So I was like, let me try this.
Okay.
And I tried it, and I got the putting mat downstairs in my basement. So I that's where I workshopped it.
Okay.
And I was working on speed drills, and I just noticed that I just wasn't blowing it past the hole, giving myself a longer second putt.
Right.
You know, I know that you kind of want to go a little past. You don't want to leave it short or whatever, but
I mean, why don't you want to leave it
I
short?
don't know. I'm just going by what I hear. I just don't.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I just want an easier putt. I just want to. My
Oh,
second
I
putt, I just
hear
want it
you. I hear
easier. I
you.
don't
I
care
hear
what
you.
side of the hole it's from.
I was going to say, I hear you, because I feel like a 17-inch putt short and a 17-inch putt past is the same distance, ain't it?
right.
And but the good news is, if it's past, you can see what it does. That's the
Right.
good news.
Okay.
But when I'm putting, I'm trying to make everything.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the mindset is to get it close.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get it close.
You try to get it in.
I'm trying to make every putt,
Yeah. I look at like,
knowing that I'm not going to.
Right.
But aim small, miss small.
that's the other thing too. Like I got that in my mind for these long putts. It's like there's no way you're gonna make that. Just get it there.
Why
Get
not?
Get it there.
Why aren't you going to make it?
Yeah, it's tough.
Why not, though?
Yeah. I don't
Why
know.
not you? Why not then?
The percentage goes down.
Are you playing percentages on the green? Or are you playing golf?
Yeah, you gotta just play. I'm not thinking about any of this when I'm playing.
No, but I'm
is
saying
all after.
Right, but I'm saying the idea that you get over a 30-foot putt and you go and you don't think it's a 3-foot putt.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have a 3-foot putt mentality for a 30-foot putt?
Yeah, I think because answering that, I think because my attention to detail in the power that I got to put into it to go 30 feet, it makes me feel like my accuracy goes down.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So now I'm just trying to think about getting it there. Like
Gotcha.
I got to get it to the hole. I got to put enough power on it where I can get it to the hole. Where that becomes the issue where like it'd be too short. I'll get it halfway there.
Gotcha.
Because I'm afraid to blast it all the way.
I understand. Let me try this. You said you play hoop, right?
Yeah, well,
I
used
to
to.
at some point, right? So you make a layup.
Yeah.
You can make a layup?
Yes.
No issues making a layup? Did you think you were going to make it when you tried the layup?
No. Yeah.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
So you ever put up a 3?
Yeah.
Do you think you were going to make it?
Yeah.
Why'd you think that? It's much further.
That's tough to ask me that because
I mean, you thought you didn't put up a 3 thinking you wanted to get it close. You thought you wanted to make it. That was your mindset. When you pulled from 25, you know the percentages are lower, but that ain't what you're thinking when you let it go. You thought you were going to make it, right?
yeah.
Apply that to the golf course. It's all good.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to think you're going to make it. It doesn't hurt you to think you're
Yeah.
going to make it.
Right.
And you are most likely going to get it closer.
Yeah.
Because getting it close brings in halfway. Trying to make it brings in 3 feet.
Yeah. It's such a mental game.
It is.
And that's the part that keeps us coming back.
Yep.
Is the mental side of the game. And,
I'm saying all that to say I got all my issues too, just to be clear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying one of the things I have come to do more in the last decade is try to make every single putt.
I'll keep that in mind. Like I said, I'm here for the gems. You know, as the host of this show, one thing that I am lucky to get is that I get a lot of information from a lot of people.
Okay.
And I get to like sift through it.
Yep.
And I get to see like what can work with me, what can not work, what am I already doing. So look, I appreciate all that feedback.
I'm hoping that your golfing brain can handle all of the information you're going to get, because I could see you now one day standing over a golf ball and not being able to pull the club back because somebody told you to do this thing and somebody said do this thing, and now you're just standing over a putt like I can't even move.
One thing that I can say that I'm good at that I got to is that when I am sifting through, if it doesn't apply to me,
Okay.
like
You can
if
flush
it
it.
doesn't, if it don't apply,
Nice.
let it fly. So if like a couple, a month or two ago, I told you I was hooking my irons.
Right.
If it ain't about hooking irons, I'm not listening.
Got you.
So right now, 100 yards in, hitting more greens is my thing.
Right.
That's what. So if anybody's giving tips on that, yeah, I'm gonna listen. But driver stuff. I mean, you said you're a great putter, so I'm gonna listen to that.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you said
that.
you love putting.
I said I love putting. I didn't say I was great at it.
Yeah. I met you on the putting green.
You did. 32 putts around. So if that's good, I'll take it.
I gotta find out how many putts I'm doing around.
You ever have a wedge fitting?
No, but I actually leave here. I'm actually about to go look at some wedges.
Oh, leave here. Look at wedges. Where? What am I near that I need to stop on the way home? What am I near?
I got some friends at Second Swing.
Second Swing near here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be late, honey.
Yeah, that's the spot. Second Swing's right there. Dick's is pretty close.
Okay, Second Swing. All right.
But
we're gonna do that.
But look, like I said, like if it don't apply, let it fly. Yesterday, I wasn't approaching well. Haven't been approaching well for a while, a couple whatever. So when I came home last night, all I'm thinking about is 100 yards in. Right. So now I'm thinking about wedges. Now I'm like, all right.
True story. I went to Golf Galaxy, because Golf Galaxy, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Paoli down in that area. You've been there probably. And I do the driver fitting. I have an hour, but it takes 40 minutes. So I say to the kid, hey man, listen, you got time to look at some wedges? And they're about sales. So yeah, I got 20 minutes. What you need?
Yeah.
So he says, I'll be right back. Goes to the rack. He brings the TaylorMade. He brings the Callaway. He brings all of the names. And he brings a Vokey. And he says, and I say, well, what you want me to do with this? He said, I just brought it just to try it. I said, I can't hit this. He said, what you mean you can't hit this? I said, I've never hit a Titleist Vokey wedge because I don't think I'm good enough to be hitting a Titleist Vokey wedge. I'm here for the forgiveness.
Right.
He says, I'll tell you what. We'll just do the thing, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hitting the Callaway, I'm hitting the other ones, can't miss. Now, I'm in the bay, so it's not on the course, but just based on the numbers and the screen.
Yeah.
He gives me the Vokey wedge, I can't miss.
Right.
I can't miss. And I'm looking at him like, what is going on here? He says, I don't know what to tell you. You should have been playing a Vokey wedge all this time. I just put him in the bag a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And from 100 yards and in, I'm so much better. So get a wedge fitting for
All right.
sure. Because it matters.
Yeah.
And these are the little things that people don't tell you on your journey.
Right.
Wedge fitting matters. A lot of times people will just pick wedges because they like the way they look, which
Yeah.
I get because
Yeah.
I like the way stuff looks too.
Yeah.
But a wedge fitting is a thing.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's where the scoring happens.
Exactly. It's a thing. Just every bit as much of a thing as a putter fitting
Yeah.
or a driver fitting. So you're thinking about wedges and you're having some issues, maybe a wedge fitting. You
Okay.
might be using the wrong wedges.
This is some good information.
Now it might cost you $400,
Yeah.
but there it is.
Again,
You
golf
might be
is
playing the
not,
wrong
not
wedges.
cheap. Golf is not cheap.
That's right.
But there's an entry level.
There is.
Look,
I mean, you can get the used ones.
right. And where I'm at on my journey, I've earned that.
Understood.
I've earned that. But Earl, look, it's been a great show.
Appreciate you having me,
you
man.
coming on.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get out there and play. I can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
we have our I have your number. You have my number. I have some days here in the summer.
All right.
So yeah, let's get it in.
we'll shoot for something maybe into the summer, and until then,
All right, man.
appreciate you, dude.
You too. Thank you for having me.